You're listening to the Infinite Banking Mastery Podcast. Did you know that you could build a tax-free pool of wealth that's liquid and accessible all your life while building your retirement nest egg? Gain full control of your financial future and stop relying on the government and banks. The wealthy have already discovered this wealth-building secret. Now it's your turn to get financially secure without following the conventional wisdom that keeps you in debt to banks. Now here's your host, Valerie LaRocque.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for sharing the podcast. Thanks for being here. I thought I would kind of piggyback off of last week's podcast where I was talking about how much did you start financially to start your IBC plan, or what is the best financial level to get started with. I thought I would kind of go off of that and talk about that common thing that I know you've been hearing all your life, probably something you hear people mention all the time, which is that you should be saving at least 10% towards your future self, your retirement years, your retirement needs. And the question is, should you be saving 10% or more? I have some friends and colleagues who say you should be saving at least 20%. Just different people have their different suggestions or advice for people. My perspective is that you really need to be saving as much as you darn well can, really. Because the fact is, you really don't know what your costs are going to be in your retirement years. One news article I found recently was saying that people tend to spend 70 to 80% of what they were spending before retirement in their retirement years. And about 10 years ago, I remember that there was other statistics saying that people were spending basically 100% of what they were making, what they were spending before they retired. But let's just say it's 80%. We still have to factor in inflation. So that 80% is not going to feel like 80% before too long with the cost of things going up. Of course, the common thought is everything will be paid off. My mortgage will be paid off. I won't have any bills. Maybe my debt's all paid off, my cars. And that's why your income needs will go down. And sure, I'm sure that most or all of you will be debt-free and maybe your mortgage will be paid off, but there will be other expenses and things that you're going to want to spend money on. Or maybe you want to buy an RV and travel the nation, or maybe you'd like to travel in general, just stay in different places, travel the world. Maybe you like to golf. Maybe you're going to be doing a lot more golfing. And golf can certainly be an expensive hobby. Or maybe you just need a new car, or you want a new car because you want to live it up in your retirement years. Or maybe you've had that remodel that you've just been dreaming of and wanting to do. And finally, you feel like you're going to do it because you want to enjoy your home. You want to have a beautiful remodel of your new home or your longtime home because you want to enjoy a beautiful space, enjoy where you live during this final season of your life. We also have to consider property taxes. Your house may be paid off, but likely your property taxes will continue to go up. I even talk to clients now whose property taxes are a lot and have been going up more than they thought that they would. And now the property taxes are almost like a mortgage and maybe even almost half of the mortgage that they were initially paying. And so it might feel eventually like you have somewhat of a mortgage again with those property taxes. In addition, your write-offs are going away in retirement. They are decreasing. And so you may feel like, wow, I'm paying more in taxes. It's because you don't have as many write-offs as you once did. I know I've shared this story before of my own father who went to a CPA after retiring and starting his pension and having his first year without being at work. And he said, well, I thought my taxes would go down. Well, why are they more? Why are they higher? Because he had pretty good income in retirement, but he thought, well, don't I get a senior discount or something? Like, why are they so high? It's because he didn't have as much write-offs and his income was decent. And so he was shocked really by how high his tax rate still was and how much he had to pay in taxes. During retirement, you probably see yourself enjoying more of the things you love. Like I mentioned earlier, travel or a hobby, but there's also the unknown risk of your health. You don't know how your health is going to be. You don't know if you're going to need a major surgery, heart surgery, or if you're going to need a hip replacement or maybe some expensive dental work. You just don't know what those expenses are going to be. Maybe you end up needing someone to come to your house to help care for you, or maybe you need something like assisted living. I've said this before and I will say it again, that needing to hire home care or needing to move to assisted living due to needing help doing things or due to dementia, which is certainly a difficult thing to stay at home with. It's hard for people to care for you when dementia starts to get bad. If you're going to need some help like this, it can really, truly obliterate your retirement savings. The more care you need, the more expensive it is. And it is not covered by Medicare. A lot of people think that it is covered by Medicare and maybe are getting it confused with Medicaid, because you can get that type of coverage from Medicaid, but it's not going to be really great care most likely. And you're not going to get the best type of locations if you have to move to an assisted living type place or nursing home care. You really don't want to have to use Medicaid for that need. And if you do end up needing Medicaid, you are going to have to spend down your assets first. They want you to use your own money first to pay for this care. As an example, in Washington state, a single person can have an income of no more than $2,829 per month and can only have assets up to $2,000 in order to get help from Medicaid for long-term care. Now, a higher amount of assets can be left untouched if we're talking about a married couple and only one spouse needs the resources. How much of your assets can be kept is dependent on the value of the assets. For example, the healthy spouse is able to keep, that is in 2024, up to a total of $154,140. If the couple's assets are $68,301 or lower, they can keep 100% of the assets. But after that, it's only 50% up to the maximum of $154,140. And there is a 5-year look-back period for any asset transfers. So if you or someone you know, a loved one, a parent, is trying to get those assets out of their name and hopes to preserve them so they don't have to spend them down in the event that they need Medicaid, Medicaid will look back 5 years to see if any of that has happened and then recall those assets. So you won't be able to have transferred them. They will recall that action. It also may be possible to keep the primary home if needing the help of Medicaid. But although even if you successfully are able to keep the home, without proper planning, it is possible that Medicaid can come for the home to be reimbursed after you're passing down the road. So there does have to be some planning there. You've got to be doing some planning to make sure you get to keep those assets or pass them on to your loved ones in the way that you want them to be passed on. You're going to want the help of an attorney for this, and it would be good to do it as soon as possible because it needs to have happened at least more than 5 years before you might need the assistance of Medicaid if that's what you're going to end up needing the help. If you're going to end up needing help from them. Now, of course, this is a very general overview, and the spend down rules are different. The rules and details are different for every state. I just wanted to give you the gist by sharing some information from Washington. So because of these unknown costs of medical or long-term care needs in your future, that's why I think making sure you have insurance to protect against needing long-term care or needing to hire home care assistance or going to assisted living is hugely important. And a whole life policy can certainly help with the risk of this cost, as well as a policy that's specifically designed for long-term care. It's for all of these reasons that I shared, including the fun ones, because of course we hope and expect to have nothing go wrong and just have fun in our retirement years and live it up. But for all these reasons is why I say you should save as much as you can, because you simply do not know how much money you're going to need later. It may be that you are in retirement for almost as many years as you were working, and there's inflation to deal with and these rising costs for medical care. So you just don't know how much you're going to need. So really just save as much as you possibly can. And then that's where IBC comes in, because the super awesome thing about housing your savings dollars within a whole life policy is that you can access those dollars and it allows you to save more. Because if I can access the money if I need it for emergencies or for investments or for my business, it allows me to be able to save a whole lot more money into those contracts because it's not tied up. It's not tied up like in a typical retirement savings plan where you can't access it till you are 59 and a half because there are no penalties to access that money or to borrow that money. So because of that, you're able to save way more into it, capture way more of the earning power of those dollars for your whole life, and have that money compounding, building, earning, and you're able to use it to go out and find other cash flowing activities and invest in other cash flowing opportunities and just really build your wealth. Those benefits within a whole life contract, doing the infinite banking concept, are so much more of a draw to me than saving in your typical retirement plan where you can't touch that money. And so you maybe don't feel like you can save that much into it because you need to have money you can access for emergencies, maybe for vacation, for your real estate investing opportunities. So maybe you don't want to put too much into those retirement savings accounts, or don't feel like you can because you can't access it for other things very easily. And that's why I love a whole life policy, because I can put that money in, I can build that wealth and savings in there, and I will have a cash flowing asset that improves with each passing year and capture the earning power of as many dollars as I possibly can to use all throughout my life and then again in retirement. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that was a helpful perspective for you. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I just thought I would give you my 2 cents on the topic and share with you why I feel like it's important to really save as much as you can. So if you'd like my help, if you'd like to work together, if you'd like to start your own IBC plan, please reach out to me, Valerie@alphaomegawealth.com. Hope you have a wonderful week. I will share again next time. Take care.
This is the podcastfactory.com.